Right away, we will go to our first speaker, who is Gichura, who will cover the Ubrica company.
And thank you for leading us in prayer. As you have, my name is Grace. You're here at Ubrica. We appreciate your time, your commitment to come here. And Ubrica, who are we? How have we come about? When did we start? You know, those are the beginnings of how Ubrica came to be. And it would be a disservice if I don't mention the people who were involved in the birthing of Ubrica. So we have in absentia our doctor, Dr. Raribi Masharia, and there is a vice president who was not here, and his name is Mr. Michael Carew. And in as much as they're not around, it doesn't mean that we cannot go on. We have a wonderful team here with us, and they're the ones who have helped to bring about the vision of Ubrica to where it is. And just to go back, Ubrica started in the US, and that's why it was birthed in 2014. And as Daktari was thinking, he's a medical doctor, he's a surgeon, and he was wondering, how is it we can help people in Africa, in Kenya, to have a life that has a better meaning in terms of health? Because we are a life science organization. So how can we help our people? How best can we bring about information and technology that can benefit them? So in as much as they were the think tanks of bringing all this together, they wanted to bring the benefits of what they had into Kenya. And that's when they came to Kenya, and a lot of work was done there in the US and bring about think tanks of how to bring about a wealth of a nation in our health. So, as we begin, you can see on the boat that the name Ubrica is an acronym, and the acronym stands for USTAWI, Biomedical Research, Innovation and Industrial Centers of Africa. But before it was that, they still used the same acronym, but the name of the company then, when it was formed, it was United States to Africa Wealth Initiative. So that was what they were thinking, bringing the wealth of, wealth and health together into Africa. And that's when Ubrica was started, and that's how it came about. So when we look at USTAWI, what do we mean by USTAWI? Anyone? What does USTAWI stand for?
Developing.
Yes.
Developing
that could be one. And we're looking at sustainability. We need sustainability, isn't it? USTAWI, standing firm. That's what we need in Kenya, isn't it? So if we're not standing together, if we're not having sustainability, there's nothing we can do to develop ourselves. And that's why we have USTAWI. And we are looking at areas of biomedical. Biomedical or biomedicine is where we bring minds of how to create better health, either in terms of production of medicines and things that are associated with medical care, the things that we use in hospitals. And then we have people who come together, bring their information and their understanding of what medicine should be. That's why the research comes in. We have to be innovative, and then as we discuss on how we should be able to produce our medicines or treat people, you need people to discuss. And that's why the part of research is so important. And so when we talk about innovations, what are we innovating for? for the industries that we need to set up in Africa, here in Kenya. So that alone is a whole mouthload of what we can be doing or what we should be doing in Ubrica. Okay? So if nobody has gotten what I said, just remember we are the health we are the company where we are dealing with health, wellness of people, and to just sum it up, we just want wealth, well-being, and the health of Kenyans. That's where we are at, okay? So, moving on. So I've already said what Ubrica is, and our main task as Ubrica is to enable us as a society, as a community, to live well in a healthy way. Have you asked yourself, how many times in your life have you asked yourself, how can I make a better living? How can I be better, you know? Why do we have the poverty that we have? Okay? And we're looking at situations where we are made poor because we are not well. And we have a cycle, continuous cycle of poverty and people who are not well, poverty and people who have been, you know, they can't be creative because they can't. When you're sick, you cannot work. When you're sick, you cannot be productive. You're not a productive member of the society. You become a burden. So what happens? You go back into that cycle. We do harambes. You sell your land, you sell your cows, whatever you do, you sell your property so that you can take care of your one person in the family who is ailing. So that person brings everyone down with them because of their illness. Why do we have to go through that time and time and time again? We see that everywhere in our society. And it's not just a specific individualistic situation. It's not. We all face it. We've all had people who are sick in our families. And every time somebody gets sick, and then we don't have insurance cover, we don't have a system of governance or a system of medicine that takes care of people who are sick without having to really penalize. And I call it punitive and penalizing because the minute you walk into the hospital, all you have to do is pay, 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 pay. And they want to know, oh, how are you going to pay? The first thing they ask you, you've registered your name. How are you going to pay? Do you have insurance? You say no. So are you going to pay out of pocket? Yes. And you have no idea how much you're going to end up spending that day. So your misery starts there. And as much as you're sick, you continue being sick because you're already poor in your pockets. And that's why Ubrica came into being, so that they take care of those situations where people do not have to be penalized to seek health care, to go to hospitals, so that everyone can be able to have access to these hospitals without feeling the pinch of paying for the care and the treatment and the medicines. And if we can do that, we're going to have a very healthy society, because you don't wait until you're dying on your bed and unasukumwa kwa hospitali hata tumpeleke tu asikufie kwa nyumba, because that's the alternative. If you seek help in the earlier days of your unwellness, you'll be able to get right diagnosis, you'll be able to be treated, and not have an escalating medical situation that could have been dealt with earlier on, isn't it? So we need to look at a situation where you and I have access to medical access to hospitals and to doctors without having to feel the pinch. And that's why you'll be told later on we came up with the UBRICOIN system, right? So in Ubrica, we're looking at the projects that we're going to be doing. Maxwell, if you don't mind. So we're looking at the money aspect, which I've spoken of, that we need to have money to be able to seek treatment. We need to be able to be creative so that when we get sick, we can go to hospitals. Then we have where our human engagement. How do we work? How do we get money? We need to be able to be active. Like this piece of land. It's there. And if we didn't use it to be creative, grow some skumas, grow some onions, and go sell it in the market, then we just have wasted land. Then we won't have money in our pockets. And when we get sick, we won't have money to go to the hospitals. So how can you engage people in money-making activities so that it will help them to not only get wealthy, you're not talking about mega rich, but you're living in a uncomfortable situation which allows you to be able to live healthy. Then we go to the projects that we're going to be taking up. We have the URCCs, we have the STPs, that will be explained, don't worry, they're just acronyms, but we're talking about health centers, biomedical centers where we produce medicines and do research and all that. Now, under human engagement, I'll just highlight a bit about Janja, is where we give people platform to sell their produce. So if you can grow your skumas but you don't have a market, that's why we come in and you tell us, oh, we need a market. We put up your products in our platform, online platform, so that you're exposed. People see that you're having a place to sell your things. And that will be explained later. But then you have the UBRICOIN and about shares from the guys who will be talking about money and shares. So I hope you have understood a journey of where Ubrica had to start and where we are heading.